Hello, Starseeds, and welcome to the Truth, Beauty, Freedom, and Love podcast. On today's show, I have a very special guest, my good friend, my beautiful friend, Pastelle, and she is actually one of the characters in my new upcoming Dragon Warriors saga. Hi, Pastelle. Welcome to my podcast about truth, freedom, beauty, and love. I'm so pleased to have you as my first guest. But first of all, I'd like to introduce you to my viewers in terms of who exactly you are and how we met. So I'll do my little introduction of you first, and then I'll throw it to you to do your own introduction. But I met Pastelle when I first moved into the City Place neighborhood in Toronto, and it was a vibrant little community, and a new salon had opened up. So I went in there because I obviously have to get my nails done. I actually have to get my nails done tomorrow. Please do not look at them, Pastelle. But I walked in, and Pastelle was my nail tech, and we just hit it off. I don't know, we just connected. It's crazy because even though she's French and you talk French and like you sometimes just talk French, I completely understand exactly what you're talking about. I know that it's just we can speak beyond the language. So and it's funny too, because even at my work I had some clients who were from France, and they were just like, "Oh, how do you understand?" I'm like, I have a friend, she's French, and she says that too. Like I can get like, but all to say that we connected. And she's also, you're very artistic, Pastelle, because I remember you doing unicorns on my nails. We used to do like little experiments. And so, like, and just the care that she would have with the artistry behind nails. And just from a perspective of honoring the goddess within, that's what this podcast is really about. That we, by creating a vessel that is home for that goddess energy, you're going to be able to embody that energy and feel that all within you. And so it's always good to have other females around you to help support that, because I wouldn't be where I am today without a team of people doing my hair, my nails, my makeup, and everything to have this get put together. But it's all to help you feel your best and looking your best. And I ended up coaching you, Pastelle, for your very first fitness show, and it was my very last fitness show, right? So my retirement show was with you, Pastelle, and you killed it. You like blossomed into this like full-on showpiece, this walk. I still remember our posing, and it was just a blast getting you ready for that. But now the next stage, I think, is us sharing with the world beauty and truth and love and beauty and all, and truth ultimately, because there's full truth in all of this, because words only go so much, but if you combine that with everything else, you create a story. And when you can tell a story about things, that's how you can really connect. So with that, I'm going to throw to you, Pastelle, to do your own little introduction first. Oh, so you have to give me what your astrology sign is as well, because that's going to be a theme.
Like the main one, like the sun one?
Oh my gosh, yeah, because I've made things complicated now. Your sun, moon, and rising sign.
All right.
Yes, yeah. Start with that and then go into everything else.
So yeah, my name is Pastelle.
Hey.
I'm kind of Rachel baby in some way.
You're my fitness
My
baby.
project.
My protege.
So yeah, so my sun sign is Gemini. My moon sign is Aries,
Yes.
and my rising sign is Scorpio.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Very spicy stack.
Oh my God, I'm doing
Spicy astro stack.
yeah. So that's funny because so we're here to talk about beauty and stuff and how we actually embrace it as a woman.
Yeah.
Okay? And I met you at that moment, like I was probably, I would say 23 years old.
Oh my gosh. Was it? Wow. Oh my, where did the time go? I'm not going to say how old I am because I'm going to feel very old, but
No, yeah, 23. And the thing, 23rd, and I guess it's at that moment of your life that you really understand what is to be like a woman, for an adult woman, kind of.
yes.
be like trying to touch your power or your ambition and trying to hold on, I have to open the door. I'm so sorry. I
No,
have
no
to
worries. Yeah.
come
Go for
back.
it.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem. No
I'm back.
problem.
I'm
But
back.
that's the beauty of movie magic, Pastelle. I'm now like super pro at editing, so I will make this look like
Yeah.
it'll be
Like,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to you. Like, even when there's a routine, I'm gonna be filming like a music video in Graffiti Alley, but I'll send you the routine.
Yeah.
So if you film it on, it doesn't even have to be on a green screen, just a plain background. I
Okay.
can edit you out
All
and
right.
like put you on like you're with us.
Like I was just next to you guys.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Right?
But
Okay. So let's go back to where so you were at a point in your life at
yeah, so I was at
23. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned 23 because I met Kevin at 23.
so yeah,
I was
23 years
23. Yeah.
old. And it's like before that, previously I was kind of living the life that everybody wants us to live. It's just like you're young. I just left my home. Like I'm from Guadeloupe, so I had to go back to France. So I first traveled
Yeah.
and I had to leave alone. I met like that boyfriend that I was supposed to finish my life with, like
Yeah.
all of stuff. You know, those kind of very daydreaming stuff that you have at that age because you're just going out of teenaging basically. So you think that this is life, right? And I ended up living a life that wasn't matching with my real personality. It's like I wasn't even aware of what my real personality was and how I
Yeah.
could stand up for it, you know, being able to talk and for myself, like say things for myself.
Oh yeah.
So I arrived in Canada. Canada was like my I don't like the word escape, but it was kind of that. I was like
I escaped to Toronto. Like when
I
I left
escaped to
home.
Toronto.
Yeah, it is
I
yeah.
think I escaped to Toronto. You
Big
know,
city dreams, right?
my
Yeah.
roommate told me that one year, I don't remember when it was, but it was maybe between 2016 and 2017. So Toronto was the city where the people was the most happier in the world. And that's why I decided to move to Toronto because I was like, if this is the place where I could be happy, why not give it a try, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
found a visa and I ended up having it and I came
Wow.
to Canada. And when I came in Canada, I just like starting to be able to be an artist, like an nail artist. They really trusted me. The salon where I used to work and used to do your nails give me my chance of like experiment my creativity and being able to explore what I want to explore in terms of work, you know, in terms,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's say. And I remember I had like 20 kilos extra. I don't know how much it represents in pound. I guess it's 45 pounds. Yeah.
What? Wait,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So I
No
think I
way.
start to
That's
lose it. I start to lose it before I met you. But basically, the moment when I just arrived in Toronto and the moment that I met you, I probably have lost, I would say, 7 to 10 kilos.
so would you
And
say you
then I finished
oh
all the things. Yeah, was the
so
full transformation.
but like when did you gain this weight though? When did that happen? Like over what time? Like
Yeah, like between my 18 and my 23rd, 23s.
okay. So you know what? They also like there's something they call like the freshman 15. You know, like
Yeah.
when you first go to like university or college, like that first year, you apparently like gain like 15 pounds because you like your hormones A and then B you're like drinking and eating and your like
Yeah.
diet is like not and so if you're like not working out or anything, you're just
You don't have time. You're studying. You're
yeah,
studying and
yeah.
working on the side and eating only pastas and like a
Yeah,
lot of
cheap food because you can't afford things.
pizzas,
Yeah,
burgers. In
yeah,
France, we have what we call kebab. It's like a very fast food kind of sandwiches, super
yeah,
yummy, super not good for your health.
yeah, like
Don't love that.
cholesterol. It's just all like and so
Yeah.
when I met you, you had already lost some of that weight though.
I've already lost a lot of
Yeah.
yeah, I've lost a little bit. Like I because I knew that I feel like I needed to move on. I needed to move. I needed to like kick myself a little bit, you know, because I was getting stuck in a life path that
Yeah.
was just like unhealthy in all
Yeah.
points. Like I used to hate looking at me at the mirror. That's actually you told me to look at myself in the mirror. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing that.
A lot of
I was
people don't. Yeah. Like this.
ugly to me. I was ugly. Like this is the word that I used to think about myself.
Oh my gosh,
I wasn't seeing it.
Pastelle.
Yeah, I was really hard on myself.
I
Now
did
I
not
really,
see, yeah, that you're a bomb. So,
but it's like it's really when that's funny because we talk about beauty, and I guess beauty is something we own as a woman.
mm.
But the thing is, you only get it when you accepting yourself fully, you get even more beautiful. You know, it's like you already have it. My mom used to say a saying in Creole, like in Creole, it's like you get a piece of gold in your hand and you're not even able to handle it. It's like it
Oh
just drops
yeah,
on the
yeah,
floor.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
how do you want to, if you're not able to handle gold, how do you want to treat yourself good? So and I was feeling like that. And I had also
yeah.
like my first boyfriend. I guess I was also his first crush. So we kind of, you know, train about love and
Yeah, your first is always something like,
yeah.
trust me. Like I know your chart, Pastelle. It's like a thing that like it marks you. So yeah, and like depending on how things end, like it's a story and it's kind of like yeah.
Donne-moi une petite heure même pas. Sorry.
Ah, no problem. Okay, hold on. So I have us on a timetable just to make sure that we have okay. So I'm going to talk about the power of stories. Actually, that's a great segue that you mentioned that. Yes. So power of stories. And so we're going to share some stories that will hopefully give our listeners some inspiration about what beauty means, but also from a perspective of um, generations and the truth of stories, like because I like to say that me as I'm working on the comic book, if you think about comic books as like hieroglyphs or cave paintings, right? So like pick like how the ancients used to communicate stories to each other, and there's always multi meanings. Like there's like you can say one thing and you can talk about things that aren't real, but you can be talking about a deeper truth in doing that, right? And I will always remember you telling me about Berserk when you were doing my nails,
Yeah.
Pastel, and like explaining the whole story to me. And it's crazy because my sister loves Berserk, owns all the mangas. And like I didn't know Berserk. And when you told me about it and then I told her about that, she's like, what? Like, and the fact that you both love it is just like a strange, like coincidence, not a coincidence, but you just expressing how you tell the story. And the funny thing is about both of you is that you both like watching anime in Japanese.
Yeah.
You don't like the dub, which is
No.
crazy because when I watch with Kevin, we have to watch with the dub because like I don't want to read. I'm like, but both of you, it's like, oh no, the way that they emote in
Yeah.
Japanese, it doesn't matter if you don't understand. You can still
It's
like
the
you.
emotion they bring, and you're like, oh, yes.
I know.
Oh, this is so good.
It's so dramatic and like over the top, but that's like that's the truth of stories, right? And so as you tell stories, like I love, and you know this about me, about what like even when we did posing for like fitness, how your stage persona
Yeah.
and like just that, and like realize that this life is just a game. This life is just, you get to play many roles in this life and you get to play out different roles for different people because you're going to serve different missions for different people. And so going back to stories, and when you came back to Guadalupe, right? And then you met your grandmother and you had your little passion project, and just tell me that whole story because I thought that was it really it touched me just because it segues into the story with my granny and like the dragon warriors and how this all like connects in like a
Yeah.
fun magical way.
That's a very nice story because I do multiple things. Like I have tons of hobbies, but
Mm,
this is my real project. And so basically, it starts because I used to be very competitive in my job, like as a beautician. I'm a Black woman, so I really wanted to
prove
bring my
yourself, kind of.
yeah, and bring my own signature, like being an expert for Black skins, being very good in what I'm doing is very important to me. Like
Yeah.
it's not even just because I like the show and the shine, it's more because I want to impress myself, and I have
Oh,
a
you
high.
know your potential, right? And you know what you're capable of. So you want to be
Yeah,
able to like do it justice, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, I want to be like marveled by myself and be like, oh my God, who is she? She's so good. That's what I want. So I was like training and very, learning a lot. And in the let's say the common industry of the beauty industry in general, you basically use 10 products on your skin, and you
Mm.
replacing each step that your skin is already doing by itself, and you kind of becoming a control freak by using each product, but you don't even realize it because the person who advised you the product is like, oh yeah, you need to because this is how it works, and
Is
they
it
also,
because they're trying to sell you products? Is that part of it?
I mean, I guess it's a little bit more deeper because this is how we teach people,
Oh, okay. So
you
it's like
know?
part of the education and how you
It's part
learn.
of education. It's like in our education, when you want your certificate or degrees, that's where you're gonna be tested from. Why
Oh.
you using an exfoliation? Why you using like acids? Why you using this? What is like the property of this and what's gonna bring to the skin, instead of learning us how the skin is really working in itself, and then see if you can bring a boost. Is it like a real necessity of bringing this and that? So I just came out of school and coming with like a bunch of products that I was using on my skin. And
Mhm.
I also always had like a good skin condition, I guess, because
You
it's
do. Like, look at it right now. You have like nothing on it and like just hey.
no, but it's like I never did acne or stuff like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess I take for granted that kind of knowledge. And I'm coming in Guadeloupe like as I used to go every year.
Mm.
It's my head corner, like, you know. And that's funny because the thing usually looks a lot like Guadeloupe. Anyway,
Mm.
so so
Ah,
my I come in,
maybe that's where the headquarters
you
really
know,
is. Or there's like a little portal that like attaches.
go there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my I spent a lot of time with my grandma, my great aunt, but it's like my grandma, and
Oh.
she's using like the worst soap ever, the worst you could have. She's using this on her body, like you could literally wash the floor and the clothes, everything with it. And I'm coming and I'm like, how can you use that? Like, do you not have any product? Like, a good product? And she's like, and my soap is very good. And I'm like, no, this is
Not good
it.
soap, girl. Like,
That's, it's like two generation trying to
yeah, they're colliding and
battle.
it's trying to like be like, but you don't know because you had all this education, right? And you were told
Yeah, you
that
tell me
like,
to do, guys. I'm here to come back with all my knowledge. So I bring like a basic routine to my great aunt. For
okay,
just my great aunt doesn't have any wrinkles. She has a perfect skin. She has a very thin and
like
fragile skin.
delicate kind of like,
Delicate,
yeah,
yeah, very
yeah.
delicate. But she has no imperfection.
Oh,
She has the perfect skin ever.
well, you have some great
So
genes then,
I'm like, yeah,
Pastelle.
probably.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing that routine to her, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna try it. She's trying it, and one day I come back to visit her, and I see that she has a mark on her cheek. Is it cheek?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
On her
cheek.
cheek,
You're so
and I'm
cute.
like, and then, I'm like, what is that? And she's like, this is all your bullshit products. And I'm like, no way. And she's like, yes, this is it.
That's
And I'm
what
like,
they did
no.
to me.
I'm like, that's wrong. That's wrong. And she's like, no, I'm telling you. So she stopped it for a while. It healed and she redoes
Mm.
it again. just so she can teach
Just you
me.
can try. Yeah. And
Yes.
then it happened
She
again.
came back,
Oh,
and she's like, I told you, she gave me we call that a tabak in Creole, and she just hit my head, and she's like, I told you, this is bullshit.
we do
Only
that.
soap is good for your
We
skin.
Filipinos do that too. They smack
Yeah,
out of love. Yeah. It's
you know? And she's like, yeah, I told you, only soap. Soap is the best things for your skin. This is the only thing who cleans and stuff. And I was like, yeah, whatever. But it hurt my proudness because I was
mm,
like, how come I can't help my grandma? Like, she's my grandma. It's time for me to help her. Like,
yeah, yeah. And it didn't really work out the way you thought it would.
yeah. And finally, I just end up like looking for soap in general, histories and stuff. And I
Mm,
made some research. And I also remembered a little bit of what I've been learning at school because we learn a lot of cosmetology, biology,
yeah,
and
yeah.
all of those things that I was like, I was really bad in that.
I mean, like
I
the
was,
chemistry stuff. You like Fight Club, right? Like Fight Club, you make soap in that
yeah.
movie. Yeah. So
So
you have to do chemistry and stuff.
yeah, the chemistry I sucked at school. I hate that. I wasn't understanding anything
It's
they was.
not really interesting, let's be honest.
No.
Yes.
And it's only when I made my research and
Then
learned,
you found it interesting.
it's like I
It
had a flash.
clicked.
It clicked, and I was like, "Oh, this is what he was saying." And I was like, "Really?" And the good thing with soap is like it's like making a pastry without making it fat.
Mm.
Because you
Yeah,
don't
because
eat.
you can't eat it, but
Can't
you
eat
go through
it.
that whole process.
Exactly. It's like you put a
Yeah.
lot of ingredients. You're making like a kind of a potion,
I, it's
and then
alchemy, man. Like what
it's
you do is
actually,
so that's
and I
that's like
love the,
little pot of like
yeah.
magic ingredients, and then you make something like because it's like even when I make edibles, right? When I make the weed stuff, like
Yeah.
you can't skip steps.
No.
You have to do it in order. You
Yeah.
have to do it be very precise. And
Yeah.
if you're experimenting, you have to know like how much more you're using of one thing, and you need to subtract like
Exactly.
moisture from somewhere else or some like so you
Exactly.
can't just like throw it all together like cooking, you know? Like there's a you have to be
There's a, there's a procedure, and even in the movement you're gonna make, the way
yeah,
you're whipping something, the way
yeah,
you leaving on the fire, you cover or you uncover the pot, all of that makes the difference, right?
yeah,
So I
totally.
love it. And one day, so I made my first soaps and stuff, and I made like many of them, and I bring some to my great aunt, and I'm
Ah.
like, you know what? Try that. And she tried it, and she's like, now we're talking about something real. And she's like, this is super sweet.
Oh,
Like,
that
I love that. Now you get it. And that's how I kind of dig in my ancestor legacy. We used to treat ourselves in Caribbean. We have what we call the Creole garden.
oh,
It's like in your garden you have everything to feed yourself
I love that.
and to serve yourself, to treat
Yeah.
yourself, and you make your own stuff from it. And then once you have extra and once you have a lot, you just share with other people. So you always have new ingredients.
You
It's like,
always have a like abundance of things
yeah,
because yeah, it's like
and
you have everything you need from
exactly.
the earth. Yeah.
We live in a very tiny island, so means that we only get things when the boat is coming from the Occident, when we used to actually do everything in
In
our own
your own
way.
island, yeah, your own like you it was like self sustaining, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so that's what my grandma have used to like grow up in, right? So I decided to make soaps and getting better, and until now she's each time I have a new formula or when I try new things, she's always sitting next to me and she's like, this is good, or this is not good, or I like this smell, oh this is nice, and she's always like, we sharing and stuff.
I
And
love that. She
yeah,
like gives you input and stuff and you can have like bounce
yeah.
ideas off each other and stuff.
Yeah, I remember one day I made one product, like I have to still work on it. I guess it's one of my favorite formula. It's not ended
Ooh.
good. I mean, a very thing, like a very good thing. And I made a try, and I thought it wasn't good. Like I thought I failed. I failed it. So I just leave it on the side, and because I didn't want it to throw it out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna maybe use it to clean the dishes or clean something or do something with it, right?
Yeah, that's
But
yeah.
it wasn't like it was a pure fail. I was like, oh my God, I was
Oh,
so upset because I
because you
still,
hoped it would be something amazing and it
yeah,
wasn't.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay, it's gonna be amazing, it's gonna be something. And I was like, this is shit. Like really. So I just put it on the side. And because I was cleaning my pots and jars and stuff like that, I leave a little bit on the sink in the kitchen, right? And my grandma, like I just leave it for days and maybe weeks. And my grandma came one day, and she's, because sometimes she's coming, she's just hanging out at home and we're just spending time together. And she's always in the
Oh,
kitchen
that.
cooking
Of
something. So
course, yeah. That's like
right?
a that's like
So she's like trying it. And I'm coming back from work. I don't know what I was doing at that time. And she's like, I like that. And I'm like, you like what? And she's like, that thing in the pot. I like it. It's really soft on my hand. I like it. And I'm like, oh, you're not supposed to use that. It's not good. She's like, I'm gonna use it. I'm like, no, I'm gonna throw it out. She's like, no, you're gonna give it to me. I'm gonna use it. And I'm like, okay.
it's like, okay, you want the garbage soap that I didn't want to use? Yeah. Why didn't you like it, by the way? Why wasn't it up to your standards?
Because it's actually so, to tease you a little bit,
Oh,
I was like working on a formula 100% natural with no like chemical ingredient from the basics, because when you
oh.
make soaps you need soda, you need to make
Mm,
like some lye, right?
mm.
And now we get the lye from soda, and the soda is like made in laboratories. It's not uh,
Oh,
because they can isolate the molecules, and then when you mix it and you have your reaction brings like a natural product, like the chemical reaction brings something new.
I see
But
what you're saying. Yeah.
I wanted to use it from scratch. I wanted to make a soap from scratch, and I had to make some things on my side. I have to make some ingredients
But
like
like how would you do it without soda? Like,
just
well,
like
is there
before, just like back in the time. Before soda, they were still, soap is like one of the, it's like maybe the first cosmetics ever.
that's epic right
Yeah.
now. How that's
Egyptian used to have soaps.
yeah. Because even if you think about the Egyptians and like the goddess Hathor, because I'm doing a
Yeah.
little thing on Egyptian
Yeah.
goddesses and how you doing your makeup is
Yeah.
honoring the goddess Hathor. So if you think about soap and cleansing yourself, there's a goddess of hygiene, right?
Yeah.
And hymen, think of that. Like it's all like related to like you being cleansed, and the soap then is
Of
like,
course.
yeah, yeah.
It's like it's not something that they try to tell you in books that it's something that in the prehistoric, like I don't know how to say it in English, but when we were
Like
living in caverns and
like cavemen times, like back
stuff
in
like
the
that.
day. Yeah.
And so they used to say, yeah, so
I
they did.
don't buy it.
So
That's according to my book in my memory, that's not where we came from.
no, that's not where we came from. But if you want, so you're
Yeah.
gonna tell me that the cavemen were using soap. They were not using soaps. So they don't discover soaps neither. They were not doing dishes. So they don't know soap. They wasn't even washing their clothing,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like, but the Egyptians, they had
Mm.
it from before, and they used to make soap from the scratch. And some, until today, you have some recipes and some formula like the African black soap. It's kind
Yeah.
of a very secretive thing. It's a very secretive formula. You
That's
can see how
cool.
they make it, but you will never have like the
The
proper
actual like actually how to make it
how
properly,
to
right?
make it.
You'll just know like pieces of it, right?
Yeah, and they use no chemicals in it. They use no chemicals. It's all from scratch.
So were you trying to do that?
That's what I'm trying to do. I was trying to do that,
Oh,
but
little
I failed. Like
alchemist.
it wasn't giving what I wanted, but it gives something really interesting. And once again, I just realized it because of my grand aunt. And that's funny because I gave her the routine to use, and she was like, I don't like that. That's bullshit. And when I'm like, don't use that. She's like poking it and using it, and she has nothing. She has no. She really loved it. And my
Yeah.
mom tried it after that. So she tried it. I was like, okay, whatever you do with it, do with it. At least I don't have to throw it
Yeah,
out.
exactly. Yes.
Right? So she's like, yeah, I don't know what she's doing. If she's washing her clothes, doing her dishes, I don't know. But she was doing something with it and she liked it. And then later again, like months again, my mom was doing like eczema on her hands, like really
Oh,
bad eczema,
I used
bad
to, oh, that
on
sucks.
her face too. Like her eyes was, because of menopause, they were getting like
Mm.
very all like inflamed and stuff. And she used it. She took it and she used it. And she's like, you know the thing you did? I'm like, what thing I did? And she's like, the thing you did, the brown things. And I was like, what? I never did brown things. And she's like, yes, the thing. And she insists. And she's like, it's really good for my skin. I love it. And I'm like, come on, this is garbage stuff. Guys, I told you, like,
But
stop
maybe this is
doing
like, like if we think about this in a grander sense, like we've like ignored our elder,
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like we're just kind of like, no, we know better because this is trendy and this is what like I've been taught with my fancy education. But they're just like, no, but we like what seems like not anything.
Yeah. And and I saved some, I bring some back to France. And I was like, okay, let's just try to work it,
Yeah,
present it a little bit better,
yeah.
so I can feel like I did something good. And I tried it on my
And
brother and on myself. And
and
I was
then
like, wow, this is actually really good. This is actually really good. I don't
it
even know.
took you that long to try it yourself. You're just
Yeah,
like
because
this.
I wasn't at all confident about it. Like I was like, this is
Wow.
good. I mean, it's natural, so it can't really fuck you up.
Yeah, but
But I was like, no, I don't wanna use that. Like, and it doesn't even, when somebody is making a meal for you and it looks ugly, and you're
yeah,
like, don't eat that. That's what happened. But when you decide to eat it, because that person is like, okay, all you hurt inside, you put
yeah,
good intention inside. It was supposed to be good. You wanted it to be good, so it has to be good in some way. So
yes,
I tried it and I was like, it's actually amazing. Like, and I don't even know how I did it. And the thing is, because it stayed, usually when you want a very good soaps,
yeah.
you need to cure it. Like
Oh,
the more you keep, like when you have a cold press soap, the more
mm.
you keep it in your cabinet or the more you let it cure it, the softer it is for your skin.
Huh.
So month happens. Maybe he just
So
like,
it's like it's like fermentation too, right?
like
It's like it's letting it its
yeah,
own special juices continue to
exactly,
like,
exactly.
so like you leaving it in the corner being like, ah, probably
Yeah,
did something really good for it.
yeah. And that's what happened. And I guess it gets even more better because after months it just cured in itself. And I was like, how can I redo that? I don't even know how to redo it. I don't even know the proportion. I was
That's
like,
so funny. You're gonna have to try though, because that's amazing. Like the idea, because you don't even consider of like when you talk about like natural too, right? And that's a good segue into talking about the mushies
yes,
because right now what's trendy is like microdosing or there's also like I guess synthetic replacements for like, and I did a post, an article about the difference between talking about mushrooms and then talking about psilocybin, which is the substance that's in mushrooms. And so there's a difference when
of
you're
course.
dealing with like, they are entities, they have a spirit, they have like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have an energy. So
And they have their own balance too.
yeah, and so it's like when you're dealing with soaps as well too, like when you're honoring those ingredients, you're also infusing it with that energy of like, you're gonna help cleanse me and like make my body like well, because like our skin is the biggest organ on ourselves, right? So like everything it touches, like when you're talking about the hives and the eczema stuff, like I totally feel that because when I was a kid, my mom used to say I was allergic to the grass because I used to get like hives all down here and like behind my legs from like playing in like the fields and stuff, because I grew up in the prairies. And someone was like, oh, you're allergic to playing out. I'm like, how can you be allergic to playing out in the grass? What are you telling me? I have to stay inside? Like, so, but and then later on too, I ended up with I had an allergic reaction to tea tree oil, and I ended up getting like hives like all over because of it. And I was never allergic before. And I just sensitivity over time. But you have to be aware of the messages that your body tells you. And the mushies that we use in our soma supplements, they're all like real mushrooms. They're all ground up. I'm the one who caps them. We have a little like machine, and it's all done like by hand and all like with like, because we chose all the different mushrooms to go together that are friends. Like they're supposed to all synergistically help each other. And I'm sure that when you choose ingredients, it's like the same idea. You're choosing ones that work together with the purpose of what they're trying to do, right? So
you need a synergy. You're not going to put like everything
like if things, yeah, like you want like, not like everything, right? Everything can be good too, but it doesn't mean like everything goes good together. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Can be really bad. Like,
yeah, you can negate stuff, or if there's just interactions, or it's just like things don't play nice with each other, like, and it's just and also like with you too, like personally,
like
maybe
Astro.
it's just like Astro. You could spend a whole lifetime just figuring out specifically what works exactly well for you. Yeah. And like you can take other people's like experiences and be like, I might try that. But at the end of the day, it really has to be like you,
yeah,
like having that experience. And so let me look at the time. What's the time right now? 10:07. Okay. I actually think that this is a good place for us to wrap this episode, because we did a lot of good stuff. Like we ended up talking about things I didn't expect to talk about, and it's actually really good, right? It's like
end up like that. I'm like, we do a track list, but
yeah, no, we went on our own thing, and that's perfect, because it ended up being what it should have been about, and we talked about what we should have talked about. And because like it's funny because Kevin's actually going to take me on a DMT journey tonight. And when he creates DMT, the way you're talking about the soap and the alchemy behind it, the care you need to have with the right proportions of everything, it's all part of like how you end up with the experience at the end of it. And so from you creating it to the person using it on their skin, like when I was using your soap, it's like I can feel it, you know, like it's just like, oh, like it's part, it sounds cheesy, but it's part of it, right? It's like, and just no different like when you write a story and like when you read a book, it's a magic thing that happens because it's you that's doing it, right? Yeah. Like you're doing it, but it's a gift from someone else. So in that, there's this beautiful little connection that happens where you like are giving back to the world that gave you life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like it's I'm giving back, but I'm giving back. It's like
to you as well, like in a
give back to me. And I found out that this is funny because my grandma gave me the clue, you know.
The in the story, it's for you to find what you're really supposed to be doing here, and like what you're really, what your gift is, and what you're trying to
like this is good. It's like okay,
it's like a little wink from like, it's like all of like, it's like she was waiting for you, like she knew that you would always figure it out.
Yeah
something. Okay, so before we wrap, where can people find you if they want to purchase any soaps from you, Pastelle?
So you can message me on Instagram.
Yes. Are you gonna drop your handle? I'll make a little like you know what I mean, like a little title that goes like at. So just you send me which Instagram handle you want to post.
One for the soaps, but the website's gonna come soon for sure.
Okay. Good. Yes. And then I will, once you send me all your product stuff, I will also offer Pastelle soap on Sacred Soma Alchemy. So if you do like an order through there, we'll do a connection that way as well. Yes. Okay. So spreading truth, freedom, beauty, and love wherever we go, Pastelle.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much for being my very first guest. And I will close this whole call and the show with that. And then I look forward to this is going to be only going to be the first of very many conversations. So yeah, looking forward to it. Okay. Have a great night, Pastelle. I'll talk to you very soon. Okay.
Yes, bye.
Bye.